to the channel. Today we have yet another episode, which is going to be great, and we're going to teach you some awesome stuff. And this episode comes of the way of our intern, because he says, hey man, how do you do portraits if you don't have like a lot of gear and you don't have a backdrop and stuff? And it's outside, sweltering in like 92-degree heat.
And humidity.
And humidity here in Florida.
A lot of humidity.
So, I will now show him and give him the awesome tools that we have going on. All right, so let's get started. Over here, we have the diffusion. Now, right now, this is full grid. Now, if you notice, we have C-stands and 4x because we kind of come from the video world, but this gear can be used to take stills as well. So, literally, the sun is directly overhead. So, if I step out, and Ron's gonna have to adjust exposure on my face, you can see the raccoon underneath my eyes, really harsh shadow, and like nobody loves this kind of look. And if you do, seriously, you need to go seek some counseling, okay? So what we want to do is make a little bit better lighting choice, and the other thing we have that's also fighting us along with the noonday sun is our backdrop. And our backdrop literally is just poster board. That's it, just poster board, like that. And people say, well, can you do a headshot anywhere? And it's like, yes, I can do a headshot anywhere because there's a secret. It's all about lens selection. So this poster board, as you see, I picked the one with balloons on it, right? Because maybe we're doing headshots for a birthday or a party, right? And we're gonna show you two different ways of doing it. We have an overhead, what we call this a solid, a 4x solid, which literally sucks the light away from the top. And then we only have the other light coming in from the side. So once we kind of show you the general setup, you guys can modify it and kind of make it your own. So I'm gonna go to the camera and see how far this is away. So here's the secret. The secret is a 300mm lens or 200. You have to have a long lens. And why do you have to have a long lens? Because you don't want to see the backdrop, right? So a long lens has an angle of view, right? Here's an angle of view, right? Angle of view for wide. But the longer the lens, less of an angle of view I have. And so now it gets super long and I'm only seeing a little bit of my background. And this will help you in a lot of situations where you can't control your background, you don't have enough light in your background. Just back up, use your feet as a human zoom and use a longer lens and you can take care of all your background problems. So here's what we got going on. We got a reflector here. So I'll show you this real quick. So this is just a simple reflector board and it's kind of, I'll just flash it real, woo, woo, woo. That's gonna do good for the camera lens, but it's really beat up. So you could put in a piece of silver board. Home Depot makes some great stuff that's silver. All you're looking for is a harsh light so you can find the sun and then shoot it through a little bit like that, right? And if you get a bigger board, you can add more sun to it or not, and then you get your trusty meter, which is in my pocket right here, right? So here's my meter right now. I'm gonna just say, whoop. It's 180 at f11 outside in the big sun. Do you think it's gonna be brighter or less bright once we get in the shade, Peyton?
I must say that it is gonna be less bright.
Hey,
whenever we get in the shade.
Look at that. Correct answer, less bright.
Yeah.
So come over here. So Peyton, go ahead and stand right there for me. So you can see automatically that we took care of the harsh light. You know, we got the black coming in, we got a little bit of side light coming in, and I would just meter right there. I'm 5'6" at 180. All right, so let's take some photos with that, and then after we get that setup done, we'll switch this one out for another piece of diffusion, and you can see the two different looks. And when in post-processing, you can see, hey, you can really do this. And guess what? I'll keep a headshot all in this background. I won't shoot off this background whatsoever, which is kind of crazy when you're considering it's only a poster board. So all these times, you guys have been sold like you need a big backdrop for headshots. Maybe you've been lied to. All right, let's take some photos. All right, so we got this dialed in at 5.6, right?
Yeah.
250th of a second.
Yep.
Right? Now, the other thing you got to pay attention to is the sun is constantly moving. So by the time you get it all working, you may have to adjust the final reflector or something right before we get the person in the spot. So I think we're going ahead and let's get the model in the shot. Let's get the model in the shot, shall we? All right, here's our awesome model, Mr. Ron. Now he's wearing sunglasses, and now I'm going to actually show you a really interesting trick with models when you're super outside. Because the minute he takes his sunglasses off, he'll squint. Go ahead, watch this. Look how he squints. See, it's squinting right there?
It's really sunny out here and I don't have a microphone on, so hopefully yours is picking me up.
It's totally picking it up because I'm just standing super close. All right, so now here's a little trick. Hey, Ron, go ahead, step out from the shade. I want you to close your eyes. I want you to look at the sun with your eyes closed.
So bright.
Keep your eyes closed. Don't look at the sun with your eyes open.
It's not.
Eyes closed.
Eyes are closed.
Now count to 10.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Now keep them closed so I explain this. So what's happening right now
Close.
is even with your eyes underneath your eyelids, your irises and your eyes are completely dilating down, down, down. It's like giving the F22 in your eye even more. So when you step back out into the shade, you can open your eyes even brighter. I learned this years ago from some talent I was working with. Ron, back underneath there, you should be good to go. Let's take a shot. All right, so I just dialed in a little bit more right where I want it to be. For him, it's very subtle, but like I said, we can always increase the size. So now we have it, and Ron is completely in pain with his eyes, which is great, because technically, I'll tell you the super secret, at the end of this,
Wait for the plane.
at the end of this, I will tell you the super secret about how to really make this shoot sing. But for now, let's get through it. All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3. Nice, okay. So now we got that. So now we're gonna head and switch it out. And now I'm gonna take headshots of Peyton. Maybe you got a bigger guy in front of frame. Let's see if it works for those guys. Switch it out with the model. So you saw what a 4x4 black solid did. It completely cuts the light from above, sucks the black, and there's a different look than what this is going to be, right? So by having to modify the light in the middle of the afternoon, you don't have to settle for this look, the raccoon look. So let's go ahead and take a look at Peyton. As Peyton comes in, he's gonna stand right over here, and I still got the fun birthday background, which is literally just a poster board and a couple clamps. That's all that is. All right, Peyton, stand right here. So now, look to camera right there. Now instantly you can see we got a lot more overhead, and now we do have a little soft raccoon action happening, but it's not really bad, right? You can kind of see it in the glass. Take your glasses off for a second. You see? So it's kind of deep in there, but we're just gonna adjust the light a little bit. And now remember, the light's always changing on us. So there's nothing, and then I come in and there's something. And then here's the other thing too, depending upon the reflection. All right, so let's even do this a little bit differently. We'll take this diffusion away.
I have a deep
Now,
fried brain.
I'm gonna turn it to the other side, the pebbly side, and now you're gonna see that because it's not such harsh, and we're gonna still have a little light source, but now it becomes a much softer light source. And there you can see it. Now, remember what my meter reading was? It was like 250,
F11.
8.7, almost 11, right? Now I'm 250 at 8.0, and we know we're cutting the sun because 250 at 8.0. Now let me get it out of this light for a second. I'll just turn this away, and let's just meter underneath them. 255, 6.6. So what does this mean? Well, what this means is we're cutting the sun, right? And it's becoming what we call a fill source, right? And then we're deciding where the key light goes and where it comes from. And now we're taking the shiny board with the pebbly, and we just made our key light come in. So now what's actually happening is our key light is stronger than our ambient light, which is awesome. Now, why is that important? Because we want to key from this side and fill from the rest. So we're going to head and take some photographs of Peyton. Now he's a much bigger guy. As I stand next to him, he's like 6'9". I'm 6'2". But you can see I'm a big guy, but he's a big guy too. So let's see if we can have his head fit on this backside, all with shooting with a long lens. Let's do it. 1, 2, and 3. All right. Well, that concludes our awesome noonday portrait sun setup with shooting headshots on nothing more than a piece of poster board here. And it doesn't matter if you're Ron size or Peyton size, you can still get a great headshot outside in the sweltering heat of Florida. We showed you about a harsh reflector, a diffusion for the overhead. We showed you about a black overhead, which we call black solid, and all to modify the light and get different looks for your headshot as well. And we also talked about the ratio from the key to the fill being only a half stop difference, and we'll get some great results. But I gotta tell you, before we go, I really want you guys to like and subscribe to our channel and everything we do. But I got the one and awesome final secret. Can you do this?
Yeah.
Sure. But don't. It's hot. Reschedule it.
It's
different
hella hot.
time. Do it in the morning. Do it inside. Just don't do it now.
With that being said, I'm gonna
I'm
go
done.
find some AC.
I'm out. Man, it's hot.
It's really hot.
What are you
I need
doing?
Some water.
What are you doing? Stop.
Huh?
You gotta pick this stuff up. Go. Go. Get it done. Come on. You're living the dream, Peyton.
Living the dream.
You're learning it.